Hi, we're here on Waco ISD TV, and we're at the Baylor Track Complex. We're on April 22nd. It was the annual Michael Johnson track meet, and that is a meet that brings a lot of stars from across the country and a lot of heroic performances on the track. But there was also a heroic performance here near where the hammer throw is. And with me here today from University High, we've got Alex Monroy, Ismael Lopez, and First Sergeant Leonard Montalongo. And they're going to talk to us a little bit about a special incident, a near accident that happened, and a heroic act by one of the people here that could have saved someone from serious harm. So behind me here, you see this is the hammer throw, and this is where they do the hammer, right? They throw it. How does that work?
What'll happen is the thrower will be in the center of the cage, and they'll have the hammer, and they'll do several twists, and they'll throw the ball, and it'll launch out. But in this particular instance, the ball flew in the wrong direction, and it came towards the two of us.
Okay. Well, let's clarify real quick. When you say the hammer, it's not like a hammer that you'd have in your toolbox at home. What is that? What is this hammer?
The hammer that was being thrown was actually thrown by a female, and female hammers are smaller than the males. They're 12-pound steel balls with a cable attached to them and a handle at the end.
So it's kind of like throwing the discus, but the object is to throw the ball as far as you can within the triangle where they can measure it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this particular throw in practice went wrong, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's turn now to Ismael Lopez. Tell me what happened on this, Ismael. And we're going to let them walk us through this and kind of reenact for us, but this could have been a dangerous situation.
Well, what happened is that we were standing over by edge of the actual arena, and what happened was that we were discussing what cadets we had left over and what cadets went home, and just trying to figure out kind of where we have other cadets to make sure that we're fulfilling everything that we need to do. And what happened was that they were doing warm-ups in between I believe it was going into the finals, and so the gates were like wide open to compensate for the left-handed and the right-handed people.
We're going to get them to reenact that for a second, but we should make clear too, what were the junior ROTC cadets doing here at the meet? What was your responsibility that day?
Well, on that day, they had several events going on. There were track events and javelin and just several different events for the event. And so we had several cadets here. I think there were 13 of us total. And we just had them dispersed everywhere. And so we were discussing how many cadets we had here still and who was doing what to make sure that every event was fulfilled with the cadets that they needed.
And so your responsibility, both of you as cadets, were to, once the hammer was thrown and the judges measured it, then you brought the hammer back to here to the throw area. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. The officials were on the field, and after the ball landed, they would grab the hammer and they'd bring it to the outskirts where we were, and then we just run it back up to the thrower.
Yeah, I want to make it clear, you guys were not in a dangerous area. It just so happened that a throw went way off target, right?
We thought we were in a safe position to where no hammer throw could really get this far.
Your natural reaction had to make you proud, Leonard Montalongo. I mean, was that part of the ROTC training?
Well, not so that particular, just to look out for one another.
Yeah.
You know, we teach in the program teamwork through communication, and we also, because we have a family structure environment, and we're all just looking out for each other, and that's one of the biggest things we're proud of in the program, is that cadets really look out for each other, and no matter where they're at here or in the school or wherever the environment might be. So, and that's why when we send them out in big groups, obviously with our leadership, and both of these two guys are on our leadership team. So we're very proud of them.
Okay. All right, now let's walk over there where it happened, and you guys walk me through where you're standing, exactly what happened when the hammer throw was thrown, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So we were standing on the side of the hammer throw area, and that big cage with the two big gates in front of it, about 100 feet from here, they opened those gates up, and the hammer was thrown from a concrete pad inside there and thrown out to our left. And now the hammer should have landed on the other side of that white line, and you see some curved white lines and yellow lines. Those lines are used to measure how far the hammer is thrown as part of the competition. So over here to our right on the side here, this should have been a safe area for the competition. The junior ROTC cadets would grab the hammer after the judges brought it to them, the officials, and then take them back to that cage. But now I'm going to let you guys take over and tell us what happened when this particular incident.
Oh yeah. So what I remember more specifically was that pretty much it was right between right before the finals. The women competitors were warming up, and so the gates were pretty much like wide open to allow for the left-handed and the right-handed to actually practice. And I remember coming over here, but because it was towards like midday, like right whenever some cadets said they couldn't make it, when some were actually going to come back in, and so I came over here to ask about who we had left and who had left, so we're just over here talking, and then I'm facing in this direction, and then I see a competitor actually come inside the net, and so I'm kind of watching them as we're having so talking real quick, and then.
And Alex has her back to the
Yes.
thing, right? And it's cold, right? It was a chilly day.
Yes.
That Saturday, and so you were kind of huddled up anyway, trying to stay warm.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We
Okay.
were
Oh yeah, it was very cold. Yeah, and so pretty much I just see I see someone step up to the cage and start their routine, and then all I remember is seeing I remember it being more like a dark kind of like just something in the air coming out of direction, and I'm trying to like quickly figure out kind of like what it is, or just figure out kind of what to do really. And pretty much just my initial response was to pretty much just get out of the way. Since it was coming this way, I was more trying to like just get out in like sort of that direction. So pretty much it's just I start pretty much moving, and then all I remember is hearing some of the judges out on the court and some of the people in the stands, and they were just saying, "Watch your head, watch out," and pretty much next thing I know, all I see is kind of my BC over here kind of shocked in the moment, ducked, and so the only kind of response that I really could have done, because I mean everything happened. I say I don't have to say, but the way the dodge cover is pretty much everything happened just so quickly that I couldn't really think of a response.
Yeah. It's a reaction, right?
Exactly, and pretty much my initial reaction was and I just like grabbed her by the shoulder and just like yanked her.
Show us how you did that.
Yeah. So.
I mean, did he really grabbed you and
Yes,
pulled you
like,
aside?
I even remember.
Go ahead and
stepping.
speak into the microphone. Okay.
Yeah, he just grabbed me and pulled me out of the way. It was in a way that, a really fast reaction, didn't try to do it in any specific way. I remember stepping on him when it happened, just pulled me out of the way really fast just to make sure it wouldn't hit me. So.
Did you see where the hammer landed?
Well, at that time we were both kind of just out of the way when it happened, but I do remember feeling, the ball as it passed by, and afterwards I remember seeing the ball just rolling, because, it falls and it hits the ground and it's not just going to stop, it's going to roll, and it rolled on down to that white thing over there, and it ended pretty far.
Do you think you could have been hurt?
Yes, very, very hurt. Even if it wouldn't have been a lethal hit, it would have been a very bad hit to have done to you. I spoke with officials afterwards, and they told me that people have died from hits of these hammers, and other people have gotten comas from these things, and it's very crazy the things that can happen to you just being hit by a 12-pound ball.
So what did you tell him immediately after it happened?
Yeah, I was very appreciative, and I've made sure to tell him thank you, but words can't really describe how appreciative I was of that, because that's a very tough situation, and just a simple thank you is not good enough for that. Oh.
How do you think your ROTC training helped play into that, Ismail and Alex?
Well, in ROTC, one of the big things we do is teamwork through communication. We like to work together. We do everything together. We don't work separately. Everything has to be done as a group, and that's a big thing that we do. We teach each other, the teamwork through communication. We talk to each other. We get our stuff done effectively, efficiently, and it won't be done effectively or efficiently unless we talk to each other. And so that, I want to say, was a big impact on this, because if he hadn't, been looking at me, if we hadn't been talking about the cadets who were here, he wouldn't have been here when that happened, and I would have essentially been hit. So.
Do you think he saved your life?
Yes, I do.
What do you think about that, Ismail? Do you think you saved her life?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but I would just go as far as like I just prevented something bad from happening.
Would you call yourself a hero?
I would not really use that word to really describe myself. I tend not to. I don't necessarily like. Well, look. I put it this way. I like helping others before myself. I like putting others before me, and that's kind of just how I am, and that's kind of what happened.
Alex, is he downplaying that? You think he really is a hero?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say yes to that. He is a very humble person, and he doesn't like recognition. You know, he was kind of upset at me that I told First Sergeant about this, but that's just the kind of person he is. He doesn't like the recognition. He just likes making sure what needs to be done is done.
Okay, well, let's get First Sergeant in here too, Leonard Monalongo. And First Sergeant, I know you also consider Ismail a hero for this, and what are you doing about that?
The JRTC has a medal for heroism, and I'm going to be applying, putting in an application for him and see how far it goes. It has to go all the way to the top, and so it takes a process, so it's not going to be nothing that happens very quickly, maybe 30, 45 days or so. So that's what I plan on doing with, get some help from the newspapers and whatnot, and just send, I have statements, witnesses that saw what he did, and it's supportive, as this interview is, and hopefully it'll get approved.
I know you've talked to statements to witnesses and given the statements. I talked to one and corroborated everything that they're telling us about the incident. And so what are the requirements with the junior ROTC to get that medal?
Good question. I actually looked it up that next day or that Monday, and it's not very broad in perspective in terms of what a person needs to do, but it does mention about risking one's own personal safety to help someone else. And it's very short, very sweet, so to speak, and that's exactly what he did, because I received a text from my BC and explaining the situation, and we got proof. She sent me the contacts of who saw the event or saw the potential accident, so to speak, and I researched it, and therefore that's why we're here today, trying to bring some recognition for his heroic acts.
That would be quite an honor. Have you ever applied for one of those medals for one of your cadets?
I have not.
In how long?
I have not. I've never in 15 years. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've never had a cadet performed in this heroic manner. I mean, they're all great cadets, but this is just, it's one of the things. It's a freak of nature, so to speak. Is he saw something that needed to be done, and he did it without regards for his own safety. And that's certainly honorable. Says who he is as a young man, and it says a lot for the young lady too, because without her telling me, I would have never known about it.
Yeah.
And so, good kudos for both of them.
You're very proud of them, aren't
Very
you?
proud.
Yep.
Very
All right.
proud.
You think he should get that medal?
Definitely, I believe he deserves it.
Okay. What do you think, Ismail? I know you're humble about it. That'd be quite an honor, though, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. Well, good luck. We hope that happens. We may know, as you said, in the next 45 to 60 days, maybe before the end of the school year. So a heroic incident here. Congratulations. Glad you're still with us and you're not hurt. And First Sergeant, thank you for alerting us to this. A lot of things to be proud about in Waco ISD, and our junior ROTC program is certainly one of them. Good luck to you. And congratulations. Way to go. We're proud of you. All right. Very good. And that's the story here on Waco ISD TV from the Baylor Track Center with our University High junior ROTC cadets.